Okay, students, today our topic is cranes. Now, crane is a material handling equipment for lifting or lowering a load by a hook and moving or transferring it horizontally. All right, in which the hoisting mechanism is an integral part of the equipment. A crane may be driven as manually or by power and may be fixed or mobile. All right. Equipment like stackers, lift trucks, power shovels, backhoes, excavators, and other hoisting equipment, they are they may be hoisting equipments that they don't fall under the crane part. They are not included in the crane category. A crane essentially consists of a crane essentially consists of number one, a steel structure, number two, a hoisting mechanism or a winch mechanism which with its pulley and pulley system. Number three, suitable load handling attachments. And number four, a drive and control. Here you can see the attachments of crane, of a particular EOT crane, that is electrical overhead traveling crane. All right. Number four is drive and controls. The major classification of cranes is based on whether they are stationary or mobile. However, it is noted that even for the stationary cranes, some structural component of the crane is capable of movement for transferring the load within the reach of its movement. The movements of the components of these stationary cranes may be linear, revolving, or combination of both. So now the revolving cranes, the characteristics feature of these cranes is presence of a structural arm called boom, which can be rotated through 360-degree about a vertical axis. These cranes are also called rotary crane or sleeving crane. A boom may be strut or truss type. The lower end of the boom is affixed to a mast, base, carriage, or any support system against which it can be pivoted and moved up and down, which is called luffing or booming. Those pivoted sections can be moved up and down. The upper end of the boom supports a hook or other end attachments for lifting of the load. So we can see a hook within a crane to lift a load. Different types of cranes are grouped under this classification. Different types of cranes are grouped in this classification. Mechanism employed for rotating the boom is called slewing mechanism. That is called slewing mechanism. Usually three different types of swivel mechanism are used, which are: number one, crane superstructure revolves together with the pillar or column which is mounted on bearings. Jeep cranes generally fall under this category. The boom rotates about a pillar fixed on a foundation or in the crane truck. Number three, the entire crane superstructure is mounted on a turntable, sorry, which rotates about and secured to its non-revolving part. The turntable of the crane rests on a number of rollers running on circular rail erected on the foundation or on the crane truck. The rack and pinion or cogwheel drivers are generally employed for rotating the turntable. Now, luffing is another important motion of the boom of a crane. It is the up and down motion of the boom about a pivoted joint at the inner base or at the inner end of the boom. Luffing motion of the boom can be imparted by applying various mechanisms like: number one, rack and pinion; number two, nut and screw; number three, segment gears; number four, crank and link; number five, hydraulic cylinder; number six, hoist drum; and rope reeving system. Level luffing motion is very important to reach loads lying at different distances from a stationary crane. It is to be noted that the capacity of a crane varies at different boom angles, which are indicated by the crane manufacturers. Now let me discuss about types of cranes. There are different types of cranes under each classification based on their constructional features and specific uses. Some of the common types are: number one, stationary cranes. Within number one, stationary crane, there are three types. Number A will be jeep crane. Number B, overhead traveling crane or bridge crane. Number three, gantry crane. Now the second type is stationary revolving cranes. Number one is wharf crane. Number two is pillar crane. Number three is tower crane. There are some mobile cranes are also there. Number one is wagon mounted crane. Number two is crawler crane. Number three, railway or locomotive crane. Number four, floating crane. So here in this part, we will discuss about the overhead cranes or the bridge cranes. As I have already shown you the pictures of overhead crane. So this is the types of a electric overhead crane, that is single girder crane, double girder bridge crane, gantry crane, monorail. Yes, this is some cost considerations which are already we are discussing. Now let me tell you about overhead traveling crane or bridge crane with some. Yes, this is an underslung bridge crane. You can see the oak of the bridge. Now overhead cranes are essentially consist of one or more hoisting devices mounted on bridge consisting of one or more horizontal girders, which are supported at each end by trucks riding on elevated runways installed at right angles to the bridge. Runways are installed on building columns, overhead trusses or frames much above the floor level. The hoisting device moves along the bridge while the bridge moves along the runway. Depending on the lifting capacity of these cranes, the hoisting device may be a hand-operated trolley type hoist, an electric hoist, or a drum type crane trolley, or a crab. That is what is shown in the figure also, the crab. I think you all can see that. So what is a crab? A crab is a crane trolley. Crane trolley is independent machine consisting of the drum type hoisting equipment built on a framework, which is fitted with runner wheels driven by motor through gearings. The hoisting motion is also motorized. The long travel of a bridge may also be manual through chain operation or motorized. Control of all movements, hoisting, cross travel of hoisting devices, long travel of the bridge of an electric overhead traveling, that is EOT crane, can be through pendant from floor or maybe remote operated through radio or other devices. Many of these cranes are pivoted with a cab fixed to the bridge from which An operator controls the crane. Electrical power is fed to the crane by means of festooning cable or from bare conductors running along the runway through the collectors connected with the bridge structure. So this is all for now of our EOT crane part 1 lecture. We will again come back with those cranes later on. Thank you, study well and stay safe.